The world saw lights, cameras, and red carpets, but what they didn't see was the quiet man who preferred silence over applause. KeanuReeves stood in the corner of a crowded gala, surrounded by flashes and voices that called his name, yet his eyes searched for only one person, Alexandra Grant. She was across the room, laughing softly with a curator, her silver hair catching the light like moonbeams. To everyone else, she looked calm, collected, radiant. But Keanu knew better. He could see the small way her hand tightened around her glass, the slight tremor when too many eyes turned toward her. She was used to attention, yes, but not the kind that judged, whispered, compared. He excused himself quietly, moving through the crowd like a shadow that no one noticed. His fame had never made him loud. It had made him quieter, gentler. When he reached her side, she didn't need to look. She just felt his presence warm, steady, grounding. "You okay?" he asked softly, voice low enough for only her to hear. She nodded, but her eyes said otherwise. "I just need air." Keanu gave a small smile. "Then let's disappear." Without another word, they slipped out the side door. No cameras followed. No reporters noticed. They walked down a narrow hallway, away from noise, until they reached the service exit that led into the quiet streets of downtown. It was raining softly, the kind of rain that whispered instead of roared. Alexandra looked up at the sky. "People will think we're strange for leaving early," she said with a small laugh that didn't reach her eyes. Keanu shrugged, pulling off his jacket and placing it gently over her shoulders. "Let them think what they want. We don't live for their eyes." For a moment, they stood under a flickering streetlight. Her mascara smudged slightly from the rain, but she didn't care. He tucked a strand of wet hair behind her ear, his fingers trembling just a little, because even after all these years, her softness still humbled him. She looked up at him, the rain tracing down her cheeks like silent tears. "How do you do it?" she whispered. "How do you stay kind when the world can be so cruel?" Keanu's answer came slow, quiet, like something sacred. "Because I remember what it feels like when kindness is the only thing that saves you." Her breath caught. There it was again, that depth in him, the sadness that never asked for pity, but made people love him even more. She knew about his losses, his grief, his silence, but she also knew his strength came not from surviving pain, but from refusing to let it turn him bitter. The rain grew heavier. Alexandra shivered, but before she could speak, Keanu gently pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her as if to protect her from everything. There were no cameras, no red carpet, no stage. Just a man who loved quietly, holding the woman who made him believe that gentleness was power. And in that moment, under the dim glow of the streetlight, he wasn't the movie star everyone adored. He was just Keanu, the man who found peace in someone's trembling heartbeat. The rain kept falling, soft but steady, like the world was washing itself clean. Alexandra leaned into Keanu's chest, listening to the quiet rhythm of his heartbeat. It was steady, grounding, real. No noise and no crowd. No weight, just him. After a moment, she pulled away slowly, her hands still lightly resting on his coat. She whispered, "I didn't realize how much I needed this." Keanu nodded. "We all need somewhere to rest." They walked down the street together, rain soaking their shoes, their hair, everything. But neither cared. It felt honest. It felt human. They reached a small cafe on the corner, one of those places that stayed open late not for business, but for souls who didn't know where else to go. The lights inside were warm, golden, inviting. They sat at a booth near the window. Droplets slid down the glass like slow-falling stars. The waitress, tired but kind, poured 2 cups of tea without being asked. She recognized them immediately, but she didn't ask for a picture. Her voice was gentle when she said, "You'd look like you needed a quiet place tonight." Keanu smiled softly. "Thank you." The waitress walked away, leaving them in their silence. Alexandra wrapped her hands around the warm cup. "I used to love nights like this," she said. "Simple nights, quiet nights. But somewhere along the way, life got louder, and I forgot how to breathe." Keanu leaned his forearms on the table, his eyes soft and steady. "You don't have to do everything alone anymore." She looked down. "I don't know how not to." He gave her time. Keanu always gave time. Silence with him was never pressure. It was permission, Finally, she spoke again, her voice fragile. People say things, Keanu. They say I'm not enough, that I'm not beautiful enough, not young enough, not perfect enough. And sometimes I start to believe them. Keanu's eyes changed not with anger, but with something deeper, protective and tender. He reached across the table, not grabbing, just offering. His hand open, waiting. She hesitated only a second before placing her hand in his. His voice was quiet. You are enough, not because of how you look, not because of what you create, but because you exist. You are a whole world, and I am grateful to walk inside it. Her eyes filled with tears, not loud tears, soft ones, the ones that come when someone says exactly what your heart has waited years to hear. She squeezed his hand, holding it as if it were the only thing keeping her from falling apart. Keanu continued, his voice barely above a whisper. The world is loud. It will always try to tell us who we should be. But love, real love, is quiet. It is found in small moments. Like this. They sat like that for a long time. 2 cups of cooling tea, rain whispering outside. Their hands connected. Just when the peace felt like something they could live inside forever. A phone buzzed on the table. Alexandra single quotes S. She looked at the screen. Her face went pale. Keanu saw it instantly. Something was wrong. Alexandra's hand shook as she lifted the phone. Her eyes scanned the screen once, then again, as if hoping the words would change if she looked long enough. Keanu leaned closer, voice gentle. What is it? Alexandra swallowed. It's from my sister. She turned the phone so he could see. The message was short, rushed, written with panic between every letter. Mom fell again. They took her to the hospital. She's asking for you. Alexandra froze. The cafe around her blurred. The lights, the tea, the rain, all of it disappeared. Only those words remained. Keanu stood without hesitation. I'll drive. She nodded, too overwhelmed to speak. He helped her into his jacket again, wrapping it around her shoulders like armor. Her fingers clung to the fabric, grounding herself through the familiarity of him. They left the cafe and walked back out into the rain. The world felt sharper now, colder, heavier. Keanu placed a hand at her back, not pushing, not guiding, just letting her know he was there. The motorcycle engine rumbled to life, low and steady. Alexandra climbed on behind him, her arms sliding around his waist, holding tighter than before. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. The road did all the talking. They arrived at the hospital quickly. Emergency lights flickered in red and white. The air smelled like rain and metal and fear. Alexandra's breath trembled as she stepped inside. Her sister, Anna, ran to her immediately. Her face was blotchy from crying. She was walking to the bathroom and just collapsed. They're running tests. They think it's her heart. Alexandra's knees weakened, but Keanu stepped closer, steadying her with just his presence, not gripping her, not holding too tight, just letting her lean. Where is she? Alexandra whispered. Room 214, Anna answered. They walked together. The hallway lights were too bright, too white. The world felt fragile. When they entered the room, Alexandra's mother lay in bed, her breathing slow but steady. Tubes, monitors, the soft rhythmic beep of survival. Alexandra moved to her side, taking her mother's hand and pressing it gently to her cheek. I'm here, Mama. I'm here. Her mother opened her eyes, weak, but warm. Warmth that no illness could take. My heart, she whispered, her voice thin. I just got a little tired. That's all. Alexandra tried to laugh, but the sound broke halfway. You scared me. Her mother's eyes moved past her to Keanu standing quietly near the door. Respectful, small in his presence, despite being known everywhere. She smiled so soft. And you brought him. Alexandra's chest tightened. Her mother looked at Keanu. Something like recognition and gratitude in her eyes. Take care of my daughter, she whispered. It was not a command. It was a blessing. Keanu stepped forward, not close, just close enough, and bowed his head gently. I will, he said. I already am. The room went quiet, warm despite the machines. But just as peace returned, a doctor entered the room with test results in his hand. His face did not look reassuring. The story was about to turn. The doctor stepped inside quietly. But the air in the room changed the moment the door closed. Alexandra felt her heart tighten. Doctors didn't need to speak for people to sense when news was heavy. He held a clipboard, but his eyes spoke before his words did. Gentle, serious, careful, Mrs. Grant, he began, looking at Alexandra's mother. Your tests show signs of heart fatigue. We have managed the immediate danger, but we need to discuss longer-term care. Alexandra's fingers tightened around her mother's hand. What does that mean? She whispered. The doctor looked at her kindly. It means she needs rest, real rest, not the kind where she pretends she is fine. Stress will make this worse. Emotional strain will make this worse. She needs support, peace, and time to heal. Her mother closed her eyes, a small sigh slipping out. I'm tired, sweetheart. I've been tired for a very long time. Alexandra felt something inside her crack. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, the way a heart breaks when it has been strong for too long. The doctor continued, softly, we will keep her here a few days for monitoring. You can stay, both of you. Alexandra nodded, though her voice felt lost in her chest. When the doctor left, Anna leaned into the wall, wiping her eyes. I knew something was wrong, she said, but she kept saying she was fine. I should have. Alexandra interrupted gently. No, don't do that. We both tried. We both love her. That is enough. Anna nodded, and after a moment, stepped out to call another relative. The room became quiet again. Keanu walked closer to Alexandra, but slowly, carefully. He stood beside her, not taking up space, not trying to fix anything, just being there. Alexandra whispered, her voice shaking, I don't know if I can handle this. Keanu's voice was calm and deep. Yes, you can. Not because you are fearless, but because you love. Love makes us brave in the moments we feel weakest. She closed her eyes, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. I'm so scared. I don't want to lose her. Keanu reached out, not to pull her in, but to simply touch the back of her hand. A grounding touch, warm, steady. Being scared means she matters, he said softly. And you don't have to face this fear alone. I am here. I am not leaving. Her breath trembled. But what if I fall apart? His answer came instantly, gentle as rain against glass. Then I will sit beside you while you fall. And when you are ready, we will stand together. She finally turned toward him. Her face was tired, her eyes red, but something inside them shifted. Not strength, not yet, but trust. Pure, quiet trust. She leaned into him, her forehead against his chest. His arms wrapped around her slowly, carefully, as if holding something priceless. There were no cameras, no headlines, no applause. Just a man holding the woman he loved, like she was the whole world. And she let him. But outside the hospital window, lightning flashed far away. A storm was coming, and love would soon be tested again. The storm did not show itself in thunder or rain. It came quietly, the way the most painful things often do. It began with a knock on the hospital door early the next morning. Alexandra had fallen asleep in the chair beside her mother's bed, her head resting lightly against Keanu's shoulder. He had stayed awake most of the night, watching over both of them with a calm patience that looked like something sacred. The knock was soft, but it broke the peace like glass. Alexandra's sister, Anna, stepped in, her expression tense. Behind her stood a woman neither Alexandra nor Keanu expected to see. Camilla Hart, a journalist, one known for smiling sweetly and writing cruelly. Her articles about Alexandra in the past had not been kind. In fact, they had cut deep. Alexandra sat up straight, breath tightening. What is she doing here? Camilla offered a polite smile, one that did not reach her eyes. I heard about your mother. I came to offer support. Keanu's expression didn't change, but the energy around him did, subtle, protective. Alexandra shook her head. Support or a story? Camilla stepped forward, hands clasped in front of her. I know the two of you don't trust me, but this time I came to speak privately about something else. Anna looked uncomfortable, eyes flicking between them. She has something to say, something important. Camilla took a breath, a real one, not a performance. Someone is spreading rumors, not just about your art, but about your relationship. They are saying Keanu is rescuing you, that you are unstable, that you are dependent on him. They are painting you as weak. Alexandra felt the hit, deep, sharp. And then Camilla added something more. And it will be published tomorrow morning. Silence fell, heavy, suffocating. Keanu's voice came gentle but unwavering. Alexandra is not weak, and she does not need rescuing. Camilla nodded. I know that. But the story is already being pushed, and you both know how the public can be. I came because I thought you deserved to know before it spreads everywhere. Alexandra leaned against the wall, closing her eyes. The world felt too loud, too fast, too cruel. Why? She whispered. Why do people always want to turn love into something broken? Camilla hesitated. Then she spoke quietly, almost softly, because real love scares people who have never felt it. Keanu stepped closer to Alexandra. His presence was warmth, grounding, truth. Look at me, he said gently. She opened her eyes. You are not weak. You have never been weak. Your heart is strong. Your love is strong. The world does not get to decide your story. We do, together. Her lip trembled, not from fear this time, but from something rising inside her. Something resolute. Camilla watched them, something shifting in her expression. Envy melting into respect. If you speak your truth first, Camilla said quietly, the lies will have less power. Alexandra inhaled slowly. And for the first time, she did not shrink. Then we speak, she said. Keanu nodded, eyes warm and steady. Together, they were still holding hands when her mother woke, eyes weak but shining. Love, her mother whispered, voice soft like morning light, does not need the world to understand it. It only needs two hearts to hold it. Alexandra leaned down and kissed her mother's forehead. Then she turned to Keanu. Let's tell our story. But just as they stepped toward the doorway, the hospital alarm rang. Her mother's heart monitor spiked. The storm was no longer coming. It was here. The room filled with sound, sharp, urgent. The once gentle beeping of the heart monitor became a frantic alarm that clawed at the air. Nurses rushed in. A doctor followed. Alexandra froze for one single second, breath locked inside her chest. Then she moved. Keanu caught her before she stumbled. Not to stop her, just to steady her. She stepped closer to the bedside, her hands trembling as she reached for her mother's arm. Mama, she whispered, voice breaking. Stay with me, please. Her mother's eyes fluttered, slow and tired. The doctor spoke quickly and calmly. Her heart rhythm is unstable. We'll stabilize her. Stay back for a moment, please. Alexandra didn't want to step back. Every part of her wanted to hold her mother and never let go. But Keanu gently guided her just a few steps back, staying right behind her. One hand on her shoulder, a quiet anchor in a storm that threatened to pull her under. The nurses worked with practiced precision. The doctor spoke in soft commands. The world shrank into a single fragile moment. Alexandra's breath was shallow. Her hands shook. Keanu leaned close, whispering in her ear, slow and steady. The way he breathed with her before. Breathe with me. I'm here. I won't leave. A few seconds passed like centuries. Then, the heart monitor beeped steadily again. The alarm faded. Her mother's breathing steadied. The doctor looked up and nodded. She's okay, just weak. She needs rest and calm. But she's here. Alexandra's body broke, not in collapse, but in release. Tears fell silently down her face. Relief washed through her like warm rain. She turned and fell into Keanu's arms, not because she needed saving, not because she was weak, but because she had finally allowed herself to be held. He wrapped his arms around her slowly, fully, with all the care of someone holding something irreplaceable. She pressed her forehead to his chest, her tears soaking into his shirt. His hand moved gently through her hair, grounding her, protecting her, loving her without needing words. There were no cameras, no flashing lights, no audience. Just love in its purest form. Quiet, steady, real. When she finally lifted her face, her eyes were red, but they were clear, strong, alive. Keanu brushed a tear from her cheek with the back of his hand. We will get through this, together. She nodded, her voice soft but certain. Together. Later that night, they sat beside her mother's bed, holding hands. The room was dim. The hospital quieted. Her mother slept peacefully, her breathing slow and steady. Alexandra leaned her head on Keanu's shoulder. You know, she whispered, the world sees you as a hero, a star, a name, but they don't know this part of you. The part that holds without asking. The part that stays when things get hard. Keanu let out a quiet breath. I don't need the world to know. I just need you to feel safe. She smiled, small and warm. I do. He looked down at her, eyes soft with a love that spoke louder than words. Good. He whispered, and in that soft hospital room, under fluorescent lights and quiet monitors, they understood something true. Love is not proven on stages, not on red carpets, not under spotlights. Love is proven in silence, in fear, in trembling hands and steady hearts. No cameras, no applause. Just a people, holding each other like they were the whole world.